The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
Mikey boy, how are you, brother?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. Chrissy, who bought the pumpkin coffee?
I don't know, somebody who hates everybody?
It's really good. You don't like it?
I haven't tried that one, but A, I hate Dunkin's. B, I don't like pumpkin
I'm
generally.
with you.
I like pumpkin, not pumpkin coffee.
I mean, but that dark roast, it's too strong.
No, that's healthy for you.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It gives me the runs.
Oh. Sometimes you need it. Just clear you out in the morning, you know?
I think you're hogging me.
Good
Hey,
for
Tom
Good morning.
Zappola.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Lamazzo. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner.
So, Mike, how can people watch the Sicilian Corner or listen to it?
Right now?
Yeah.
No clue.
Don't you think you need to learn that?
Way beyond my grade pay.
All right. So,
grade.
reason
Pay.
Reason I'm asking Mikey boy the question is because we do have an announcement to make today. How long have we been together?
It'll be 22 years December 4th, but who's counting?
22 years this guy and I have been working together.
We've had a lot of laughs.
We're going to talk about that. And I have made the decision that I am retiring from the Sicilian Corner. There's a couple of other opportunities that are out there.
And you know something? Let me add, Tom.
Yeah.
There's one or two people out there that are going to miss you.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate
I'll
that.
go find him later.
Thank you. Such heartwarming.
When are you going?
My last day on the Sicilian Corner is going to be May 19th. Friday, May 19th. And as I said, Mikey and I were like brothers. I've been thinking about this.
Sometimes.
I've been thinking about this for quite a while. And this is a good time to make the break. I am having a knee replacement, as I've mentioned on the air. And I thought that this would be a good time, once I get all my medical crap out of the way, to, just to move on a little bit.
Get a little bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
Because you put a great deal of thought into the Sicilian Corner.
Man, it doesn't end.
Really.
Doesn't freaking end.
You have what, 2 stoplights?
Well, that used to be the case. That used to be the case. Now it's 3.
They added another one.
Recently. Anyway, as I said, Mikey and I have been together for 22 years. We've had a great run.
Met some nice people.
Nothing that Mike did. Although,
no, of course not.
No. But as I said, there's some opportunities. And quite frankly, everybody knows I do have another show that really takes an awful lot of my time. The show that
4 stoplights.
It's a lot more than 4.
All right.
The show that I co-host with Rico Petrocelli and John Mallory called The Great American Collectible Shop. And it's time to take a step back. Smell the roses. Smell the fresh air.
Does Mallory remind you of the Bruins coach?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's scary.
Absolutely.
My God, he's like a twin.
He does. Wow. I forgot about that. He absolutely does. All right, so today we're going to do, hold on a second now. This is part 1 of the announcement. So I am going to be exiting the Sicilian Corner on May 19th. That'll be my last broadcast with Mikey, but I'm hoping that you do invite me periodically to jump in.
Where?
If you can't make it, if you're sick and you need someone to jump in for you, a professional.
Wayne Peters found out that you were leaving.
He did.
So he wants to be my sub-in.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the capabilities or the talent.
Peter Popoff? I wouldn't trust him.
Who? Peter
Wayne
Popoff?
Peters.
I
The
wouldn't trust
accountant.
him.
No, the accountant. The accountant.
Peter Popoff should be in jail. What a sleaze.
I know he is.
What a sleaze. Shame what he does. He screws people left and right. The guy should be in jail now.
Can we stick to the second part?
You get me going here.
What is the
Peter
second
Popoff.
part of the Sicilian Corner announcement? You're going to keep the name of the show, correct?
Correct.
Is it going to be the Sicilian Corner with Mike Lamazzo, or the Sicilian Corner with Father Mikey, or the Sicilian Corner formerly hosted by Tom Zappola?
Yeah, right.
Anything like that?
Yeah, that's the... That's
right?
Yeah, there's quite a chance of that happening.
No, you're going to just keep the name, the Sicilian Corner?
Chrissy, I'm sorry.
It's going to just be called the new and improved.
Another
The
one.
new and improved Sicilian Corner.
So you're going to keep the name seriously?
Yeah.
Good.
You know what? Let's get back to Father Mikey for a second, because I have a lot of fun with that. A lot of people
Bring him back once in a while.
I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Today, everything is politically correct, supposedly. We don't have common sense anymore, and you can't have any fun.
No, it's a sense of humor.
I cannot say I can say it to Chrissy because she's kind of old-fashioned, old school. I can say, Chrissy, you look wonderful today. You really do. You say that to some woman.
You get fired.
I like that it's turned that old school values now mean I can take a compliment without being offended.
Well, you know what it is? How about that guy?
Isn't that funny it's funny that you would term it that way, that's old school. I would have thought old school was going even further, like, oh, goodness.
Well, what about
don't
that
even talk to me.
superintendent that said to the two staff members, thank you, ladies, and he got fired? He had to resign for that, for saying thank you, ladies.
That's it?
That's it.
On what ground?
Who the hell knows? But anyway, let's get back.
I mean, if you can't turn around and say, Jesus, you got a nice ass. You can't say that anymore. You just can't.
You're right, you can't. All right, so...
And I think that's wrong, because I love fooling around.
You're going to continue on.
No hugging, no kissing, no nothing. No kissing, I can say no. But a hug? If you're Italian, you got a hug.
Can you get to the point of the show?
Do I have to?
Well, I think you do.
All right. What's on your mind?
So... Oh, wait, so I have to interview you now? What the hell? All right. So my last day is going to be May 19th.
Yeah.
And are you making some changes to the show after my departure?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to play 20 questions.
But right now...
Biting my tongue not to jump in with just one-liners this whole time. Are you going to make any changes? Yes, it's going to be a good show now.
Okay. Are you going
Who
to...
did we interview that
Are
did
you
that
going...
to us?
Are you going... Let's say...
There was somebody...
Where?
We had somebody on the show, and I thought it was going to be a real interesting segment. And every time I asked him a question, it was...
Yep. Nope.
Nope.
I remember that. Are you moving? What are you going to do with the show? All kidding aside, why don't you tell our viewers, because you are making some changes, which I don't know if they're for the better, for the worse, because you're moving from this studio.
Correct.
You're going to be leaving the Studio 21 Podcast Café and the United Podcast Network. And by the way, the Great American Collectibles Show on every Wednesday night at 6:30. At 6:30 is staying with the United Podcast Network and the Studio 21 Podcast Café. Just thought I'd mention that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, now go ahead.
Just to reiterate, Tom didn't break up with me. Mike did.
So where are you going, Mikey?
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
We're going to Costa Eagle Broadcasting and back to Methuen, where we started from.
Right. The old WCCM. Which is now Costa Eagle Media. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're going to go back there.
We're going back there. Lou Blassie is going to be my producer.
The late Lou Blassie he's not late anymore.
No.
Oh, Lou loves me.
He's got a lot of things going on.
So I have a question.
He doesn't like you.
So I have a question about that. So if I have to jump in for you, I'm probably going to have to do a remote, because Lou and I will wind up killing each other.
Folks, how can I say this nicely? When we were broadcasting and Lou was our producer, a minute and a half, 90 seconds, whatever the case might be, Louie and Tommy, you son of a... be arguing. It was almost fistfights.
Do you remember the time that I walked off?
You left me alone.
I walked off in the middle of not in the middle, at the beginning of a show, Chrissy. I got into it with Mr. Blassie over an incident, and I got up and I just left the studio. I walked off the studio.
That's good.
Left my...
I had a ghost host. Anyway, long story.
No, but Lou's a good producer.
Brilliant man.
When his head is on straight. I'm sorry.
It's my producer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're talking about my producer.
Chrissy and Lou would get along Just like
two Rams.
They would
running
get
in different directions.
Like it'd be like the American Football League and the National Football League. Oh yeah, they would really get along. You and Lou.
I don't get sports references.
It would be like Ukraine and Russia. You and Lou would be like Ukraine and Russia.
You'd be surprised.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Trust me.
I would charm the pants off and be wrapped around this tiny little. You see this finger here?
Wrapped around.
Wrapped around.
All right.
So anyway, 90 seconds left to go. These two are battling away, and then we get down to like 5, 4. Good morning, everybody. This is Tom Zappala. You're listening to the Sicilian Corner, like big smile.
Absolutely.
I used to go crazy.
Absolutely.
It drove me nuts.
So you're going to be going to Costa Eagle.
Yeah, going back with Pat Costa.
You're going to be on the same time.
Exactly.
Except, there's a big except here. You're going to be on Fridays at 11 o'clock.
Live. Mistakes, no problem. That's my middle name.
Which you make quite a few of.
That's my middle name.
Right.
Yeah. Mistakes, going to be live.
So people
can
call in.
The other thing is we have a telephone number. We're going to try and get another line in, so we have two.
So for the Rogers of the world and the Peters, you guys can call in live.
DeMarco,
Nancy, Barbara, Karen Patera,
Joanne Loisel.
You guys can all call in live now.
Audrey.
And talk to Mike.
Franny Donato. The list goes on. It's a plethora.
Who's Franny Donato?
Franny Donato is a very dear friend of mine. And Lucille's.
Oh, really?
We all went to school together. And
I knew a Karen Donato.
I want to go back to making it a local.
Yeah. Well,
I want to concentrate on
radio.
WCAP, and I have to tell you, folks, the signal at Sam Poulton's station has improved tremendously.
It has.
It really has. I get it in Wyndham now like it's...
I know it has. Well, the other thing, though, is you're still going to have a Sicilian Corner Facebook page.
And a YouTube page.
So people can watch the show live on Facebook and on YouTube. Are you going to have a YouTube page?
Oh, yeah. Just got it yesterday.
I didn't know that.
Oh, sure.
So people are going to be able to watch your show, the Sicilian Corner, hosted by Mike Lamazzo, formerly hosted by Tom Zappala. They'll be able to watch it on Facebook Live.
You really think that's going to be on there? I mean, really.
How about just a picture of me? Like an obituary. No, I don't want an obituary.
I can't do that.
No, not an obituary. But people are going to be able to...
I've actually enjoyed your company.
Oh, we've had fun. People are going to be able to watch you live. That's good. And talk to you.
Yeah. And
so you're going to screw up.
And plus, we're going to have gift certificates occasionally. I want to start doing a restaurant review because, as you know, I'm very, very good at that.
You are very good at it. Are you going to do one once a week or once a month?
It all depends. I'm going to ask listeners for places that they have gone that they really would recommend, and I'll try it, and I'll give it my...
Now, are you going to have a rotating set of guest hosts with you, or are you going to bring in people? How's that all going to work? Because, there's some great guys that have worked with us that you can bring in. How's that all going to work?
I have a wish list.
So are you going to bring in someone with you every week?
No.
Okay.
No. Because for 22 years, the amount of work and the amount of words that I had a chance.
So now it's makeup
and an
time.
Opportunity.
Now it's makeup time.
So I'm good for at least
5-6 years.
9 months by myself. No, I'm serious. I've had a few offers from people that want to come in.
Well, listen, I think you should.
And we haven't really made it public yet. This is the first time. If 99.90, like Ivory Soap. They still make Ivory
Soap.
Soap.
Well, the Tribune is going to do an article.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's what I heard, too.
Twice now they've asked me they want me to do a restaurant review. I think I told you a few years ago.
And you'd be very good at it.
Yeah, I would. But something, there's no Zordis.
Well, I think part of the problem, is that you are, when you love a restaurant, you're very good at it. But when you don't like a restaurant, you go too easy on it.
You think so?
Absolutely.
In my opinion, if I've only gone...
The restaurant sucks, it sucks.
That's not necessarily so.
Well,
a perfect example. Up at the Encore, when Fratelli's first opened, I went the first week. I freaking hated it.
Did you really?
I did. I don't like the room. It's long, it's skinny. I don't want to eat in the freaking hallway. I don't. The food left a lot to be desired. the noise reduction in that particular room was non-existent. For me to talk to you, I almost had to yell. Well, little things like that piss me off.
Okay,
all right?
that's
And I said it on the air. I went the second time. It wasn't much better. Then I stayed away for about 2 or 3 months. Then I tried it again, night and day. So sometimes you have to let people get acclimated.
Okay, I buy that.
You can't judge a restaurant with one visit.
All right, so you're good at restaurant reviews. We got about a minute left.
That's about it.
No, seriously. Restaurant reviews, you do a lot of trips. So destinations, you can talk about destinations.
Yeah, we
but
do.
You gotta make sure you continue to have, and you have very little of it, humor in the show. I mean, I am the funny one, not you.
I look at you and you make me laugh. You're right.
No,
you're
100%. You're gonna keep it somewhat light.
I want it to be
Light.
Yeah, and some of the guests we've had from years ago, those that are living,
That's a good point.
we'll come back.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go down memory lane a little bit. Mike and I have been together for 22 years, and we've had some freaking fun shows and some not so fun shows, right?
Yep.
But we're going to talk about some of them. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Today,
Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State inspection station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy,
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we are back. Wait, I was going to finish what I was going to say. I'm leaving, so I think that it would be a nice gesture on your part to reach out to our audience and have people send me gifts to my house.
You think so?
Parting gifts.
Yeah? But you're going to be on the air on your, what kind of a show is it?
It's called the Great American Collectible Show. Okay.
How
about you giving me a gift? 10 grand? How about a CD?
CDs are getting up there now.
4.5%.
4.5%, yeah.
4.5.
That's nice. No risk, no nothing.
And that's 4.5. Really, it's really 2.5. Because it's 4.5 for a year, but if you only take a 6 month,
why would you take a freaking 6 month?
You never know when you need the cash. What if you need the cash?
I know somebody that you could go to.
Edward Jones.
Besides him.
Who?
A friend of mine. And the interest rate.
Vito Battaglia? What's the VIG?
No, it's called interest.
Oh, okay.
The interest, and it's a hell of a lot better than Visa.
I'm sure.
It's 11 3/4.
11 3/4. That's good.
For a year.
Can I ever tell you that story?
No, I'm dying to hear.
Oh, this is the truth.
There's a story you have that I haven't heard before.
This is TZ. The statute of limitations is up, correct? Yeah. After 40 years.
Yeah. It's early. It depends on.
This is TZ at his best.
Oh, tell me, brother, lay it on me.
All right, I'm 21 years old, living in an apartment with my ex-wife and one child, in Hampton. Nice apartment. But I have an opportunity to buy a condo in Amesbury.
Okay.
Now, it was a 3-bedroom condo. And the three-bedroom. It was a nice condo complex called Northbrook. And at the time, the price was $22,000 for the condo, which is 1970, I don't know, 6 maybe, 76 or 77. Now, Tom doesn't have a pot to piss in. So Tom...
It's very descriptive.
Well, whatever. So Tom needs $3,000 for deposit. So Tom thinks about it for quite a while. So who does Tom go to? God rest his soul, Phil DeFusco from, what was the name of that? Household Finance. Right?
Yeah.
On Essex Street.
Okay.
No. So I go to Phil, because he was a friend of my father. I said, Phil, I need $3,000.
Mistake number one.
He said, well, what do you need it for? I says, well, I need it to buy a condo. He says, no problem, 17%. Right?
But see...
Well, hold on. It gets better.
Oh.
17%. So I get the loan, right? So now they ask me for some pay stubs, a couple of pay stubs, right? So
were you a teacher here?
I was a teacher, but I wasn't making enough money. So a friend of mine owned a business. And I called them up.
The one with low inventory?
I called Don up. I said, Don, I need a couple of pay stubs. He says, no problem. How much? How much do you want to make? So, make a long story short, I swear to God, creates a couple of pay stubs, put them through, bing, 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 and I get the loan.
That's interesting.
Right?
I like that.
Got the mortgage, and I paid back, obviously, I paid back that
Get
loan,
rid of that one first, yeah.
like within a year.
Yeah.
And I wound up selling that condo for $85,000.
Honest to God.
Yeah, four years later, and then I was off and running. And the late Phil DeFusco, I think his name was Phil. Yeah, Phil DeFusco. Great guy. He kind of knew. He was a friend of my father's, and they were all part of it.
It wasn't DeFrancisco.
No, DeFusco.
DeFusco.
So God rest his soul. He was a big help.
Sometimes being in the right place at the right time, and I'm sure our listeners will agree with that, you don't have to be the brightest. You don't have to be the smartest.
You have to be creative.
Yeah.
You got to be a little creative.
Yeah, and that's one thing you are.
Well.
Because, you can really make something sound awful good.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment, backhanded compliment. All right, let's talk about some of the shows. Now, we've had over the 22 years that you and I have been together, we had some great shows and some not so great shows. Now, you were not my first pick as co-host of the Sicilian Corner.
Anything you say to me is irrelevant right now. You're not going to hurt my feelings whatsoever.
You were my second choice because the first choice was the late Ned Leone. God rest his soul.
The best thing you could have done.
And Ned was great.
He brought the history.
Yeah, and the whole tone was different of the show at the time.
Back then.
And Ned had a great sense of humor. However, if you recall, we brought in Mike Lamazzo right out of the get-go, and we started a segment called Mike's Cultural Corner. And Chrissy, Mike would call in from his home in his swimming pool. And,
you remember that? Huh?
Oh God, yeah. And give us a little tidbit about something, a restaurant or some cultural thing, which was useless banter, but that's okay.
Really?
Then we brought in, after Ned left, Ned parted ways with us, and we brought in a gem. A gem,
I say.
The late, great Joe Tringali.
Yep.
And Tringy brought a whole new level to the show.
He could outthink you and I. He was so
the one-liners were just incredible. And then we came up with a segment called Joe's Fables, or whatever the hell it was.
Every week, Chrissy, there'd be at least an arm missing, 5 fingers, 4 fingers. There was always something. The body was being cut up.
He would come up with this fable, and then there was always a moral at the end of the like. What would the moral of the story be?
And he would make it up.
Yeah, like what would the moral of this story be? Well, when you're using an axe, be sure you don't cut off someone's hand. Some stupid thing like that. Anyway,
tell the folks about. You knew Joe. I hadn't. I met Joe through you. And I'm so glad I did because I think he made my life better.
Joe was a great guy.
I want you to tell the folks about his dad, who was a tailor.
Joe Tringali Sr. probably could have been a famous comedian. He was one of the funniest, quick ones. That's how Joe got his way. He was a clothing salesman. And, sells suits and stuff. I can't remember who he worked for. He worked for a couple of different companies.
He was at Caps for a while.
Yes, and he had just a tremendous sense of humor. And he was very, very, very close friends with the late Ernie Campolini, who was a tailor.
Right.
And Joe told me a story one day when a customer walked into Ernie Campolini's shop with a beautiful suit to get tailored. And Tringy Sr. happened to be in there with him. So they put the suit on the guy, and you don't have the white chalk to measure it.
The shoulders and all that.
So they have the guy facing this way, and Joe's in the back there, and Ernie's, marking off the arms, the collar, right? Hits the back, right? Makes a tic-tac-toe. Makes a tic-tac-toe thing. Him and Tringali
I love that.
Playing tic-tac-toe on the back of the guy's jacket.
Guy says, you guys are getting a lot of attention here.
And then, of course, there was Emma Tringali, who was the female version of Joe Tringali.
That was his mother.
Right. And there was that story where Emma was driving a car. Chrissy, Joe's mom, old Italian woman, was driving a car, and she happened to be coming down Union Street and took a left onto Essex Street. And there was a funeral procession.
Lo and behold, what's that?
There was a funeral procession, and by accident, she drove into the funeral procession. What do you think she did? Instead of driving out of the funeral procession, she stayed in it, went to the cemetery.
Went to the mercy meal.
No, she didn't go to the mercy meal. Went to the cemetery, got out of the car, doesn't know any of these people, when all the other mourners, goes to the grave because she was embarrassed to drive out of the...
She was so freaking
She
funny.
was a riot.
But she would call up once in a while, and she had a tendency to use bad words sometimes on the air.
Minga. Minga. Everything was Minga.
It was a hoot.
And then, of course, my mother, checking in with Ma.
Yeah, we did that segment
when
for a while.
my mother was probably in her early 80s, she had a very unfiltered mouth. And we would call her up, just checking in with Ma. Hey, Ma, what's going on? Nothing. I'm watching Gunsmoke. You're watching Gunsmoke? Yeah, and, these guys, she would go off on this tangent about a TV show she was watching or an article she read about the president. That son of a bitch. Oh God. It's very, very funny.
She was good.
But
I bought some Christmas ornaments off of her.
She did a great job with those. Yeah.
Beautiful job.
She did. We probably have 50 that the kids put on Christmas Eve on the tree every year.
Now, your sister Anna, who's a peach.
Yep.
Did she write down your mother's recipes?
She does. She has a book.
She has a book.
Well, we did two things. My brother Al had the wherewithal to film her. They're on VCR tapes, but you can get them converted. He's got 2 hours of filming her cooking, and then my mother and my sister put together her 15 best recipes. And all the kids have it, and I use it. You should see mine. It's stains, tomato stains on it. But anyway, we had some great shows over the course of 22 years. Let's talk about some of them. Rex Trailer.
You should have seen the morning. Now, Lucille was dying to meet him.
Yeah.
That was my wife. And I says, you know what I want to do? She says, what? I says, I want to go by Walmart and see if I can buy some white hats.
You bought them, cowboy hats.
I bought 4 hats. And we all had them on.
Yep. And he came in. He was such a gentleman.
Unbelievable.
Such a gentleman. Pat Benty was with us.
Yep.
And the highlight of that segment was we had Rex Trailer in the studio with myself and Mike and Pat Benty, who's a wonderful guy.
Absolutely.
And Rex Trailer. And the phones are ringing off the hook. We had
taken a break. It was like noontime. We had taken a break.
Because we were on for 2 hours at the time.
And what did we hear from our producer?
Well, yeah, he says, you got to take one more call. I said, look, we're not taking any more calls. You got to take this call. Who was it? Jay Leno. Jay Leno.
We thought it was a joke. We thought somebody was breaking our chops.
And what it was Lenny Sogoloff, who owned Lenny's on the Pike.
Yep.
He was in a nursing home at the time, was listening to the show. And Lenny gave Jay Leno his first break at Lenny's, and they were always good friends. Little did we know that Jay Leno's idol growing up was Rex Trailer. He went on the show.
He was there all
Rex took him up in a helicopter when he was a little kid.
No, then he turned around. He started off the conversation by saying, hey, I just want to say I got screwed by Rex Trailer. And Rex had promised him a ride.
Oh, that's what it was. He promised him a ride.
And he didn't do it.
But
what a hoot. And then he talked about you told him, he says,
Tom,
how
pizza
much is the pizza? Yeah. How much is the pizza? You said, I don't know, $1.75 or something.
What? It used to be 25 cents. But Leno called us, Chrissy, from his limousine.
Chrissy, try to pay attention, huh?
He called us from his limousine.
Business here, okay? Buddy?
Traveling to the studio to record the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
But he took the time to call, and that was wonderful.
Yeah, it really was.
Another good guy that was a very, very good friend of the show, very good friend of both of us, was the late Al Martino, who was a wonderful, wonderful singer, played Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather, and we became very, very, very close.
We used him at the feast, I believe, 3 different times, didn't we?
We used him at the feast. My sister Anna and Al were very close.
Yep.
Anna introduced us, and it just took off from there. I mean, it got to the point where I'll never forget this. We had, when my sister was living in Connecticut, my mother had moved in down to Connecticut, and Ellen and I were down there for the weekend, and to go see Al and Jerry Vale because my sister had booked them, and she invited Al for dinner to come over to her house, and my mother made her lobster pasta.
That's right. Yeah,
and I made baked stuffed lobsters.
Wow.
I never saw anything like it in my life. He had 2 baked stuffed lobsters and a huge dish of the lobster sauce with the pasta. But we had such a lot of laughs,
Tommy, tell the story about when we took him to Melise for dinner. And F. Lee Bailey was with us, Dr. Rossity was
That wasn't
with us.
Melise. That was Joe Fish. That was Joe Fish.
No, it was Melise.
No, it was. It was Joe Fish on Route 1.
Okay.
It was Route 1, Joe Fish.
I'm talking about the time that F. Lee Bailey came with us, and we couldn't choose. There was no menu. Antoinetta from Melise came out and said, my restaurant is my house. You are in my casa. There's no recipe. And the food just kept coming freaking.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. But you have it a little confused. Well,
I can't wait for you to go. I really can't. When are you going?
I will go over that with you during the commercial break because you're a little confused on that because it was a long time ago. You want the story on the air or not on the air? You tell me.
I think you're wrong.
Okay, you tell me. First of all, it wasn't Molise. It was Paluchis. That's number one.
That's different. That was another time when you were in a separate room. That was different. Think this long and hard because you know what's going to happen? You're going to be driving home. You're going to be driving home, and all of a sudden you're going to get this, and you're going to say, Jesus, Mike was right. I should call him and tell him he was right. And I'll keep the phone open.
Okay. That's fair enough.
End of conversation.
Fair enough.
But he was funny.
All right.
I mean, he had some good
He was great. Al was great. He was just a wonderful man. And we used to talk a lot he was a great cook. As a matter of fact, he dropped dead in his house making meatballs. He was making meatballs when he had just had a heart attack and dropped dead on the kitchen floor.
Tommy,
80 years old.
Do you know his wife must have passed also?
No. As a matter of fact, Judy... She hit a home run.
Nice lady.
I read about her couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. She wound up, now, when they lived in Beverly Hills, and he had bought Edward G. Robinson's home.
I know.
Paid $1 million for it when Spanish Eyes hit number one.
Way back.
Right. She sold it for $10 million and moved in to a condo with her daughter.
And it was a primary residence
in L.A.
She didn't have to pay tax on it.
Right.
Ooh. Is she still alive? I might be interested.
I would say Judy's probably your age. She's probably your age.
She's got to be older than me.
I don't think so, Mike. Because she was a lot younger than him.
Really?
Yeah, she really was.
You think she's available?
I don't know, Mike.
How much did she get?
10 million, 9 million. I'm not sure, Mikey. I'm not sure. Hey, what about the pizza guy? Remember the pizza guy?
Bobby Pecora.
The late Bobby Pecora. We did a bit.
Chrissy, this was beautiful.
A good friend of ours, very funny guy. We call him the pizza guy. And what he used to do is he would do a pizza review every week and go to a pizza joint and then come on and do the pizza review. Except nobody knew what the pizza guy looked like because he would go in incognito, order a pizza, and then do a review. So when he would come on camera, he would wear a paper bag with just the eyes cut out. And then we would do the review.
He was outstanding.
Bobby was great.
Bobby was funny.
Bobby was really
Bobby
good.
was funny.
And then, of course, we're gonna talk. We're gonna do a little more reminiscing. We were honored to be in the presence of one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of wrestling. Wrestling Hall of Famer, the fabulous Johnny Vegas.
The robe was
fabulous.
beautiful.
My heart used to palpitate when Vegas would walk into the studio. I mean, there was such an air about him like a king. He would walk in, he would tell us what to do, sit down, and, I would challenge him to a wrestling match. I almost fought him. You almost fought him, too, right in the studio. And he was funny.
He got a little bit irked at us because we said that professional wrestling
was fake.
Was fake.
Oh my God,
Rissy. He went
berserk. He went berserk. Just a quick, before we take a break, a quick Johnny Vegas. He's a new report fighting wrestling for the
Newburyport Days or something.
Yeah, whatever they call that. They call it. There was 20 guys in the ring. Last man standing.
This is a true story.
Last man standing wins the championship, wins the belt. Vegas is in there. All these wrestlers are killing each other. What do you think Vegas is doing?
He's in the corner.
He's sitting on the floor in the corner. He's watching, right? He moves, keeps sitting on the floor. Now it's down to 3 guys, Vegas and these 2 other guys. And they're beating the hell out of each other, and they're on the ropes. Vegas runs across the ring, pushes them both over the rope,
and wins.
And wins the belt. He wins
won
the
belt
championship.
and the money.
The fabulous Johnny Vegas. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. This is right up your boat, as Mike says, the Woodstock crew. Did you ever hear of Woodstock?
Yeah.
We're
You haven't lived here yet.
We're going to talk about Woodstock. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's Seaside Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibes Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu, with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites, and the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lamazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we are back, and is this the third segment already?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus!
I told you we should do another hour.
Well, next week we're going to talk. We got a special guest coming in next week, but I'm here 2 more weeks, so we'll make
2 more.
2 more weeks.
Really?
Next week and the week after.
Oh, I thought this was your last one.
No, I just told you. No. The hell. But anyways, for those of you that are just tuning in, I am retiring from the Sicilian Corner. My last day is going to be May 19th. Mikey Boy is going to be moving the show back to Costa Eagle Media Broadcasting Center, where he will be broadcasting the show live.
With Lou Blassie.
Same time, Sweet Lou. The
professor.
Let me ask you a quick question about Lou. Is he? Did they release him from the institution?
You're trying to sabotage me before I even get going.
No, I'm just asking.
What institution?
Wasn't he committed for a while?
Shame.
I thought he was. I must have dreamt that.
Oh, yeah.
I must have dreamt that.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Chrissy, we hate to interrupt you, but
Yeah, it's fine.
we had
Your show doesn't need to go on multiple platforms. I'll stop working and pay attention.
We had one show that Mikey had absolutely no idea what the hell it was about. But
just one?
Well, actually, good point. Good point.
My buddy.
Shots fired. Hey, you broke up with me, pal.
It was the 45th anniversary of the Woodstock Music and Art Festival.
She may not know what Woodstock is.
I do. I wasn't personally there. Sorry to offend.
But do you know a lot about the history? And I mean,
I don't know what constitutes a lot, but yes.
I mean, it was it was the largest at the time. It was the first and largest festival in the world, and they were expecting 50,000 people, and 400,000 showed up. You know all about that. It was in Woodstock,
New York. She wasn't even born yet.
I know she wasn't. But anyway, it was the 45th anniversary. As a matter of fact, I just watched it. Have you ever seen the documentary?
I've definitely seen one. I don't know about the documentary.
Yeah,
but I've definitely seen
I watched it last week. I enjoyed it on Netflix. But anyway.
It's amazing what drugs can do for you.
No, listen to me. So we decided to it was the 45th anniversary of Woodstock, and I was able to track down Michael Lang, who was the guy to put it all together, and his partner, I can't remember his name, but they hadn't spoken in 20 years because they had a falling out, so we had them on at different times. But then we also had on Bill, what the hell was his name?
Guy from Amesbury?
Guy from Merrimack.
That's what I said.
The godfather of, he was called the godfather of Festival Sound. Yeah. And if you've seen the movie, the speakers, the big towers that everybody was hanging off on, those are in his barn in Merrimack. So we had the 2 founders of
Woodstock.
We had the sound guy in the studio with us. And then we tried to get John Sebastian, who was supposed to come on, but he wasn't able to, but we had, because there was something happened. But we had Melanie, who appeared there, and she sang. And we just got into the bowels of what Woodstock was all about. And actually, we had somebody who was at this concert with us, in studio with us. And it was just, talk about bringing back memories. I know you weren't into that stuff, but the Woodstock that changed music.
What year was this?
1969. That changed music forever. That festival changed music forever.
I was protecting our country.
You probably were.
Unlike some people who were completely shit-faced.
No, I was not. I was just. I was a musician, and they brought. I mean, they brought in Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Crosby, Stills and Nash. What's his name? The Who.
Not the Who. They brought in the Who.
The only band that was not able to make it was the Beatles because they had a prior something else they were doing in a recording studio. But they
regret that.
They had such a hard time getting the artists in because all the roads were closed. Yeah. They had to bring them in by helicopter with their equipment. And the festival was 2 hours late already starting. So they brought in Richie Havens. Did you ever hear Richie Havens?
Sure.
Richie Havens was the only guy there, and he was supposed to be playing for 20 minutes. He went. They put him on stage.
4 hours.
He's playing, and he goes to walk off stage, and they say, "Nope, you got to stay on. Nope, you got to stay on."
Because they couldn't get the other.
And after him, John Sebastian from the Lovin' Spoonful was in the audience.
He got up.
They spotted him. Get up here. They gave him an acoustic guitar. He sat down and he played for about 45 minutes until they brought the artist in.
You know,
very cool. Very cool.
I bet if they look in that muddy field, they'll still find a couple of people sitting there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those guys lost their shirts.
Oh, the promoters.
Oh, they lost their shirts. They had to
Nobody paid.
They had to tear down all the fences.
That does remind me very quickly. So I have seen the documentary, but they also made a movie in 2009 called Taking Woodstock.
Oh, that's.
It's like
a play on it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, I'm just saying it is very fun.
I know. I've seen that.
Just the whole thing about trying to figure out how many porta potties they're going to need and things like that. It was just a very funny
Actually, two
take
people
on
did
it.
get killed, died there. One guy.
Way to take it down.
Well, a tractor ran over some guy that was.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was sleeping and they didn't see him.
That many people, Tom. Unbelievable.
400,000. Think about that. 400,000 people show up when they're expecting 50,000.
In the middle of a field.
In the middle of a field.
Nowhere to park, like the parking. I remember, they had to walk for miles.
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 But you know something? If you watch the documentary, all of the people that lived there, people that were living in houses, they opened up their homes to all because it was it was the biggest news story in the world. Feeding kids, cooking for them, setting up grills. Cooking any food that they
That's
had,
the nice side.
any food that they had, and everybody said these kids are just wonderful. Pick another one.
Michael Amante, only because nobody had ever heard of him. And
Good point.
We brought him in the area. And
I think
Donnie Durando was his manager.
Yep.
One of the nicest guys. You know when the floods hit New York, was it Sandy? Hurricane, whatever. The water came up so fast where he lived that they moved up to the second floor. The first floor, right up to the ceiling, was completely full of water on the first floor.
I believe that.
I mean,
Michael was great. Michael Amante, phenomenal talent.
We brought his name to the Merrimack Valley and Boston
and it
metro
stuck.
area.
And it stuck. I mean, it stuck. He's still in demand. We're going to get to some of these next week too. But another guy that was a very, very big contributor to the show is Aaron Caruso. Aaron, a wonderful tenor. Aaron's going to be appearing at the feast this year.
He's going to be a daddy.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we're going to talk next week. We're going to talk about some of the not so nice, not that they weren't nice, but some of the more difficult times you and I had with some of the entertainers like Frankie Valli and Connie Francis. Not that
it wasn't Frankie Valli.
It was his manager. But I'm just saying.
Dean Egnator.
Yeah.
You know what his problem was? You want to hear?
No, I'm sure you're going to tell me.
He suffered from the shot man syndrome.
You wanted to
punch that little shit. I told him, get away from me. Get as far away from me.
You wanted to punch the hell out of him. I had to intervene, if you recall.
True.
I had to intervene because you were going to pound his head in. And he said...
I said to him in a nice way, do me a favor. Walk away from me. Get as far away as you possibly can. That's exactly.
Well,
what
not only that, but he, if I recall, he said this is the day of the concert. He says, you know something, we're not going to perform.
You said I'm on 93, right?
And you said something to the effect of, well, guess what? If you don't perform, you're not going to get out of here alive. Something like that. You did say to him. That's what you did say to him. I think you threatened him.
We were together Thursday, the day before, and that Friday.
Correct.
And everything was perfect. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. We got 2 minutes to go. I get a phone call, right? 7:30 in the morning. I'm driving down to meet you guys for breakfast over at the place on Broadway. He says to me, Mike, I don't think there's going to be a show tonight.
I remember that. Holy Jesus. All right, listen, we're about out of time. We got a couple of weeks. Next week, we're going to bring in a special guest. This is a really...
And we got a few more here.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is Tom and Mike's farewell tour for the next 2 weeks, right?
I'm going to miss you, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you, too. But you know something?
Is this your last show?
No, it isn't. I've got 2 more shows, damn it. I told you that. With that being said, Chrissy, thank you for participating today. Yeah, okay. Real nice job. What? No, I'm only teasing. You know
with
that.
Your microphone. Sorry, folks. He's cutting in.
With that being said, remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone. Have a great week.
Take care, everybody.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.